And the meeting is being recorded, so individuals can circle back around and see any information that they missed. So welcome everyone. If we could go ahead and put the slides up. We're excited that you're joining us today. If you've joined us, so this is our March residents meeting. Some of it, if you joined us in February, some of the information will sound a little bit familiar, but just know as we go through the process, it's definitely going to pick up in pace. As we start to get, you're going to hear about some survey information today and a few other things. And once all that starts coming in, there's definitely going to be new information every time. So if we could go to the next slide and the next one. So our agenda for today is to introduce folks to the team so you can see who all is working on the project, to talk a little bit about choice neighborhoods and what that is. If you're unfamiliar with it, the process that we're going to be doing it and how you can get involved with the process. And then we want to take time to listen to you all. So we have 3 prompts and we want to hear your all's feedback on that. So we're excited to get into what your all's interests and desires are to see what Western looks like. So we have this, if you haven't changed your name on Zoom, this was up on the screen for a while. So hopefully everyone's done this, but you can easily go in and change your name either by clicking participants and then choosing your name and then rename, or click more and then the participant tab. And then you'll see the option when you click on yourself to rename yourself. And while we're in Zoom, so you can turn your audio on and off. So if you have kids at home or a dog that starts barking, like mine does, sometimes I turn my audio off and you'll see a red line go through that if you click it. So you can still hear people, but they won't hear all the background noise. You can turn your video on and off too. So you can toggle that. You have the option to chat, which you've seen us putting some information in the chat so far, but you can ask questions that way. And then you can react. So if you like something someone's saying, or you can clap, you can raise your hand. There are a lot of different reactions you can do in there. So if you're joining us today on a tablet, you came to one of the tents and the pop-ups and were able to get that tablet, and attending 1 meeting a month and completing the needs assessment, which is now out and ready for you to complete. You can keep that tablet come August. So far they have unlimited data until August 27th. If you have not gotten a tablet yet, we want to get one in your hands, or if you have a neighbor that hasn't gotten a tablet yet and wants one, we definitely want to get one into their hands. And the whole goal is to increase participation in these meetings. So even if someone just isn't sure they're going to attend, and they can still use the tablet for the next few months and then just turn it back in August. So there's nothing that if you miss a meeting or you just think you want to come to 1 or 2 but still have a tablet for a while, and we want residents to have the opportunity to participate with us. So we do have tablets available, and we have a handful of them left. So if you do have someone that wants one, you can let Tracy know, and we will make arrangements to get a tablet out to you or your neighbor. So several of you had brought up some comments during the February meeting, and we wanted to let you know that we heard those, and to give you just a 30-second update for those that were made. So some folks had said the tablets would be more valuable to them if they were able to receive push notifications or see the notifications at the top, if they were able to have YouTube and on there as well. So we went ahead and pushed those 2 things out to your tablets. You should be able to see YouTube. I also added YouTube Kids in case you have kids in the household, and they can use that app, and it locks it down and filters out some adult videos so they don't have access to that. I use that one with my kids. And then you should be able to access your notifications as well. If those are things that aren't going on, you can let us know. Just let Tracy know, and we can work with getting that notification pushed out to your tablet. Several of you mentioned gardening. And so CAC works with our gardens at other KCDC properties. They've agreed to come over and work at Western. So if you are a resident and want information for gardening, we're starting that up and can get that information to you. CAC will provide all your seeds and your starter plants. You can do a container garden on your patio or porch, or they're actually going to till some of the land where gardens were previously, and you can garden in plots there. So CAC is managing that process for us through Beardsley Farm. So if you need that information and haven't gotten it yet, just let us know. And then some of you brought up facility issues, and those have all either been resolved or explained. And I'll say explained for the case of screen doors, for example. And unfortunately, those won't be added back to Western in its current iteration. But if that's important to you, then that's a great thing to put on the needs assessment and something that you want to see added to the property going forward, if that's a key asset for you. So if the property hasn't reached out to you, or you don't think the issue has been resolved, just let us know. I might have the information and they just weren't able to get a hold of you. And if not, then we'll definitely still address it. And then one last reminder of who the team is. So if you weren't with us last month, we went through and introduced ourselves, but for today, we're just going to wave. So if you are on this slide for the sake of time, if you could just wave to everybody. So if y'all can see that, if you can't see everyone, you can scroll through depending how your tablet is set up right now or in your Zoom screen, because we got a lot of folks on the call. So there's a few different pages of people. And most likely the folks up here are the ones that have their videos on, so you can see them that way too. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over so y'all can learn more about Choice Neighborhoods.
There we go. Thanks, Marissa. If we could go to the next slide, let's talk a little bit about what Choice Neighborhood is. So that's really the reason we're talking today, is we want to hear from you about what you'd like to see in what will ultimately be the Choice Neighborhood. So Choice Neighborhood is a program that is HUD's flagship initiative for investing in neighborhoods where public housing exists today. So they allow applications in a very competitive process for, in the size we're talking about for Western, for up to $30 million to create investments in the neighborhood. So when Megan starts asking you and her team start asking you, what are your dreams? We really want you to be dreaming, because there's going to be some money that we can put toward your dreams. But basically what we want to do is make sure that we have a plan, because it is highly competitive, and we will have 6 years to make that plan be a reality. And of those monies, the majority of the dollars go toward housing. Because it is a HUD program. Of course, housing is the foundation of the program, but it's not exclusively housing. What's really unique about the Choice program is it's not just housing, but it's also other things in the neighborhood. So you're going to hear questions asked of you about not just what do you want to have your next home look like, but what about the neighborhood around your home? So we'll be talking about that. And then the other great thing that comes with Choice Neighborhood is resources and services for the residents. For you that have joined us today and your neighbors, there's going to be a number of resources made available to help your family meet its goals. And so we'll be talking some more about that in the coming meetings as well. We're doing this today because there's a lot of planning that needs to happen, and the application is expected to be due sometime probably around November or December. We won't yet know the exact date for a few more months yet, but that's the timeline we're working on. Next slide. So we've kind of talked a little bit about this, but there are 3 components of choice, and we talked about them. Housing is a big one, but not the only one. Neighborhood and people are also some really big items that we want to dig into and figure out, what do you as residents, you as the people of this neighborhood, want to see improved in what you have access to in your neighborhood. But then the neighborhood itself, what other improvements that could be investments in the neighborhood, things that would change the look of them, or they would be all brand new. What might happen in the neighborhood? And of course, we're going to do a lot of talking about your new and prospective rehabbed housing as well. Next slide. I think this is where I kick it over to Brad, I believe.
You're right. So I'm just going to get a little bit more specific than Melanie here by showing you a map. As Melanie mentioned, there are 3 different categories that we're going to focus on throughout this master planning effort. The people, we're not going to show that on the slide, but I did want to say that the green part, which is sort of Western, Tennessee, I-275 and Beaumont, that is what we are considering the neighborhood. So when Melanie mentions the aspect of the grant being, for the neighborhood, that is the neighborhood that we are focused on for this grant. And then when it comes to the housing, that's when we're talking about the mostly, the land that's Western Heights. Not all of the housing will necessarily be treated in exactly the same way, but we're committed to improving the housing on the whole site, the whole pink site. But as you guys all know, it's sort of denoted, the different sections are denoted with light pink and dark pink. So you can move on to the next one. And for those of you who weren't on the call last time, you should know that there is going to be a new Western Heights on the property, and we are hoping that will be ready to start in the fall of 2022. So not this coming fall, but we'll be building it starting this summer and hopefully finishing it in time for fall of 2022.
There we go. So when we're looking at how each resident can be involved, that really starts with, how do we figure this stuff out? How do we find out what works best for you? And that is this process of listening, testing, and then deciding. And so it always starts with listening. So we'll ask some questions, some of which you'll hear today, and we'll really get into, what are your favorite things about living in Western? What do you like about it? What are some of the problems? And what are your dreams for the future? And then after that, we'll be able to test. And by testing, we mean draw. We'll be able to draw and imagine what a lot of these spaces that you guys start thinking about could look like. And then when we come to deciding, it is the residents who are able to help decide as part of the process where this goes, what are the things that are really important to you. Go to the next slide. So when we look at the timeline of where we are right now in the listening phase. The thing about listening is that it's happening throughout the whole process. So it's not like we just stop listening at the end of March. We will be listening the whole time, but this is the time that's really dedicated toward hearing what all the residents have to say. And the rest of the time we'll be working and listening at the same time. Next. So some of these meetings and workshops, they're the monthly resident meetings, which we will, get into a little bit more. They're going to take place mostly on Zoom. Hopefully we'll get to the place where we can do meetings in person too. We would be looking forward to meet you guys, and just being able to listen first and to see all of what you are telling us reflected in the actual plans and ideas that get drawn. Next slide. So each of those monthly resident meetings, today, March 30th, is the second-ish, third-ish meeting. But the big thing here is that there's always meetings at 1 p.m. and at 6 p.m. and they're always on a Tuesday. So if you know that the meetings that are at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. always have the same information. So if you can't make one of the meetings, the next one will have the same information on that same day. And so there'll also be flyers for each of these meetings that go out, so that you'll have those as well. And you should already have a flyer from the last tablet pickup that has all of these dates on it as well. But you'll receive additional flyers reminding you of each of these meetings. Next.
Thank you so much, Ashley. As everyone stated before, this is all about you sharing your dreams and your vision for your neighborhood. So you already know the date. So unfortunately, since COVID, we couldn't really meet in person in a nice room, but hopefully this summer, really April, May, hopefully we will be getting together and having some outdoor events. That's very important. Like, I want to reiterate that what Ashley said, that the meetings will be 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock. And it's so good to see some familiar faces from last time. Welcome back. Thank you all for joining again. Next slide.
Tracy, are you available? Tracy may be helping residents.
Yeah, so Tracy Holt is serving as our resident ambassador, and several of you are on the call right now. I recognize some faces. There's Chris and Sasha and Trisha. So it's really good to see you guys today. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry. Tracy's really got a handle on everybody who's participating in this process. And she'll be leading the RAs throughout the next several months as we work to conduct surveys, promote neighborhood events, and get out there in the community.
Yeah, she had to help me because it wouldn't let me get on, so I had to text and call her.
So
I would
yeah,
like
if
to
you
get together.
resident ambassadors, if you're on the call, if you wouldn't just mind to just kind of wave and let everybody be able to see you, so they can recognize your faces.
I don't know if you can see me waving. I think my camera's on.
We can see you.
Okay.
Can you see me?
I can see you. I
I
can see
see
you, Sasha and
mine.
Chris.
They
Okay.
cat in the corner.
I would like to make a suggestion to the other RAs that us like meet up today and us like talk and get to know each other and figure out like who's doing what, where. That way we're not going to the same houses and knocking and bothering people. So if the other RAs are interested, I'd like to meet up with them today and we can figure that out.
It'd be better tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, because today's
Yeah.
my birthday and I plan on trying to enjoy the nice weather.
Right.
So I think that it would be a good idea, and I'll get Tracy when she gets back on the line. We'll touch base after this meeting about an opportunity for you guys to meet up and figure out the best time to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great suggestion, Chris.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you guys want to move on, this Tracy's on the call now. If you just want to wave, Tracy. So the other thing that we're doing is we're doing the resident surveys, and it's about a 50 questionnaire that the RAs are going around to the different apartments and asking people to either complete those via paper or to use the tablets that you all have received to do that online. And you can easily find the survey if you go to the main website, Engage the Team Western. And I think that was in the chat earlier. And so we're hoping to get several hundred of those done over the course of the next 2 weeks. And so you'll be getting really familiar with our RAs over that time.
What if it's the same person that's filled out the last 10 surveys? Because I don't really know many people, and where they have shootings and stuff, I just not all that comfortable going to certain doors because it's hard to get someone to fill them out. So are they going to be different surveys each time?
No, the survey that people filled out during the tablet distribution was just an initial survey, but this is the full survey that you guys are administering now. And what we'll do is when we meet together as a group, when Tracy can get some time to do some training with you all and figure out what time is the best time for you all to meet, then we can go over the survey more in depth and figure out ways in which you can engage where you feel comfortable. Either that's knocking door to door, or maybe that's just putting out flyers for people to get a link to the survey, but we'll brainstorm some different ideas on how to get that survey out there so that you feel safe as well.
If
Yeah.
there's a certain
Sorry.
places, if there's certain places the other RAs don't want to go, I'll go there. I have no problem going anywhere. I mean, I just.
Yeah, so I was off for a minute trying to help everybody log on. I'm pretty sure I'm a little behind. So we'll coordinate with the RAs a date and time. If you all after the meeting want to text me your availability, and then I'll coordinate a good date and time. If you I don't know if you did this already, if you want to wave to the camera to let everybody know who the RAs are, that would be greatly appreciated.
Jalen, you're not.
Maybe I'm a little behind. Have we already did that part?
Yeah, that's okay,
Well,
Tracy.
never mind.
We know
Okay.
that you've been working to get people on the call.
Yeah,
But yeah,
okay.
we'll
Yeah,
schedule
so we'll
something.
just, if they text me after the call and let me know their availability during the day, then I can meet, we can set up something.
Sounds good.
All right.
Ashley, do you want to talk about the website?
It's doing this thing where it puts the screen with the show behind all my other screens. And so I can't see where the next slide is. But so we just put a link in the chat which is engagetheteam.com/Western. And that takes you to that main webpage that Lisa was just talking about earlier. And some of the first things that you will see on that webpage are, like, when you scroll down, it'll give you a little description of why the website is there. And then it'll have a link to click to take the survey that we were just talking about. So you can click to it from there. And the first thing it'll ask you is if you've already taken it. So it is, you don't have to worry about if you already took it and you're not sure. It'll take care of that for you. That's also a place where you can watch previous meetings. So we'll have videos of the previous meetings that will be up there. And if you just want to come back and see something that you missed, or you want to look at something, you can watch those videos. And it also has a section that has all of the dates for the upcoming meetings that you'll be getting all of the flyers for. And if you click on any of those dates, it'll take you right into the meeting. So that's another place. If you can't remember the Transform Western link, you can click on any of those and that'll take you right into the meeting. And then it also has some of the stuff that we are talking about in the meetings, like that timeline, where we are in the timeline. So all of that is on the website if you want to get any updates about the process.
Here's what Ashley was just mentioning. If you go to upcoming meetings, all of these dates, you can just click right on it, and then you can hit yes, and it will open in your Zoom app. So this is a great place to go if you're ever having a hard time getting on the call. Go to engagetheteam.com/Western to jump on these calls. Okay. So I'm going to put up some questions, and then I would love if Dr. Lundy could help us walk through these questions. And, we're excited to hear from all of you.
Well, hello again. I know someone's baby is just not happy right now. It's okay. I know we're probably not very entertaining to babies. But anyway, so here are the questions. Number one, what are the best things about Western Heights? Does anybody have any comments or want to express their views of the best things that's going on in your community? Christopher, I know you have some good things.
Right. I mean, the location's good, except for like there's no restaurants close to us. But other than that, I mean, it's a good location for the most part. I mean, at least there are stores, Dollar General and all the other stores and stuff. That's convenient. We see some restaurants out here bad.
Yeah, it's hard to get a lot of restaurants, but yeah, I understand that, because especially where I live, we have the same problem about the restaurants. Someone said friendly, is that LaShonda, friendly neighbors? That's always good. It's hard to find friendly neighbors.
Yes, it is.
Anybody else?
I don't really got anything that I would say that is around here, just because of everything that goes on. I mostly stay inside unless I'm catching the bus or going to the doctor. Because it was just this week we had a shooting, so just with a lot of that and everything, you can't really do a whole lot or really get out.
So do you believe the transportation, because you say you get out and go to the doctor, do you think the transportation is good where you are?
Yeah, it's very close. It's not too far from my apartment. It's just a couple walking distance. Yeah, it's probably good. But just the environment and stuff itself, I think is different. But yeah, having a Dollar General and a corner store and the bus stop, yeah, that's good. But that's the only really good thing I can think of.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else?
I just wanted to ask just real quick, which bus stop does she go to that she thinks is pretty close to where she is?
The one on Oldham at the beginning of Oldham Ave, close to the office. But we also have one by the mailboxes too.
Anybody else about what are the best things about Western Heights?
The Baptist Center?
The what center?
The Baptist Center?
The Baptist Center?
Yes.
Is that a church? I'm not familiar with the Baptist.
The church is on the hill.
Oh, okay.
Right there on West Scott. It's they give out food and clothes and stuff like 2 days of the week. They got a lot of they do a lot to help the community. They really do. They have a lot of good volunteers there. And it's really good.
Help for kids.
Yeah, they do a lot of stuff for kids. They got like an after school program, I think. They just do a lot of good stuff.
Because my daughter's usually sleeping at that time in the morning kind of thing. So I ain't got to make it down there, but I have heard about the Baptist Center.
Oh,
That's
awesome.
wonderful.
That's good to have something like that in your neighborhood. I see that LaShonda also wrote in the chat, good exercise with all these hills. I need to join you with all those hills. I might end up passing out, but yeah, I can see that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Like,
the
you
hill on
know,
the line.
thing-
Oh my God.
the
Do
other
y'all
good
do
thing
a
I
lot of
do-
walking around the Western Heights area? Do y'all like
Yeah, I
walking
do.
around?
I do.
I
Yeah.
It has
walk
some beautiful
to-
views. What about the views? Like when you get on the top?
Yeah, that's a pretty view.
Yeah, that's one of the best views of our city.
I've walked to Food City and back from here, besides Dollar General.
Okay, so the walkability of it sounds like something good. Okay.
If it's nice out, yes.
Yes.
But
Okay.
it is a hard walk to the Food City. But sometimes I like getting
That's a
out.
little hot.
It gives me a break out.
Okay. Anything else about the best things about Western Heights before we move to the next question? I want to make sure everyone is heard. If you raised your hand, I don't see it. So if someone else from the team, if I missed anybody, please let me know.
Sasha said something about picnic tables, which seems
Good. Okay. Picnic
Mhm.
tables. Yeah. Thank you for that, Tracy. Okay, so question number 2, what are the problems that need to be addressed?
Oh Lord. The biggest problem that I see is like people letting like 10 people stay there and their guests are problems, like bad problems. And you go to the office and tell them and like nothing's really done about it. Like I've gotten almost into a physical altercation with someone that lives down below me with one of their friends. And it's just crazy. I mean, they got like 10 people staying there and like a whole zoo of animals. I'm just like thinking, how does the office not know this? And it's not just them. Like there's like 4 or 5 other places that have like 5, 6 people staying there, and that's just ridiculous. I mean, I understand people don't want their friend to be homeless, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, you can't risk your own housing for someone else.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle. People trying to find places to live. Unfortunately, we don't have enough housing in our area, so I can see how that can be frustrating of, trying to figure out how to solve that. But thank you so much for that. Any other problems?
They're moving people in that I wouldn't say are suitable to live here, because now there's been more shootings, gunshots, and across from where I live, you see people coming in and out the front door like crazy all day long, and the back door, and traffic. You got trash everywhere, just all different kinds of things. And I don't know if they're really doing background checks, because we had shootings before, but since they moved these new people and all in across from me, it's gotten crazy.
Okay, the littering.
Like they don't care what time it is. It'll be like after 5, 7. It could be up like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll have my fan on the air thing on, and you can hear it over that. It wakes my soon-to-be 2-year-old out of sleep.
So I have a quick question. So I hear what you're saying. And the trash, do you all have a community group, neighborhood group, or have you all heard of Keep Knoxville Beautiful? Because I know they organize the community. Has that happened over there? to help,
We just have regular trash pickup. That's all we have.
but not the extra like cleaning on how people throw stuff outside their car windows, and there's
I
always
think,
some
like,
McDonald's
people,
bags or water bottles, and now
Uh,
you have masks, so you don't, so there's no cleanup for that. Okay.
the office has people like, they do community service or whatever. And, I've seen some of them out here cleaning and stuff, but other than that, not really.
I have people behind me that uses our dumpster and they won't even put the trash in the dumpster and have it all on the ground, and then it blows in my neighbor's yard. Same with out front. There's just some that don't live here that's doing the trashing and the littering also though.
Yeah. And another
My
problem,
neighbor does the same thing, and I have to clean up the trash.
yeah.
Okay, so
Another
trash is the
thing is-
main thing. Okay.
Another thing is like people like loitering and staying in the parking lots, like, and it ain't just residents, it's like it's their friends, and like these parking spots ain't that big anyway, but you got like 20 people out there, and like if I have a ride picking me up, taking me to the doctor, I shouldn't have to like walk through a crowd to get to the vehicle. You know what I'm saying? And they're just all out there just selling and whatever they're doing.
So not respecting space and
At
maybe
all.
some activity that might not be welcomed. Okay. Sasha, do you have anything? I see LaShonda said littering and better air and heat.
Yeah.
Right. I'm also like the air, it don't work very good in there.
Okay.
It don't go back to the bedroom. Or the heat.
I've been waiting 4 months for the housing to come in and fix some things, and they still haven't came in.
Well, the staff is on the call, so they are recording, we'll reach back to you about that. Is there any other problems? I have really the extra guests, maybe some issues with illegal activity, maybe some violence, then the littering, and then air and heat. Did I miss anything else?
137 everything. Can't do it today. Somebody you can drop it off down here, and we can just do it.
Anything else I need to add?
Yes, the rodent.
Okay.
Oh, rats, yeah.
So
I've caught
pest
8 of those.
control, okay.
From I guess the dumpsters close by.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so they
whole-
get a. Okay.
Yeah, the whole front, everybody in the front on the main street has nothing but rodents.
Oh.
Okay.
Mine's not coming from the trash, of course, but my next door where the people moved out, it's always filled with rats and you hear it 24/7.
That's so
And
gross.
since I've lived here, I've caught 8 of them things, and they're not small.
Ugh.
Okay.
I've
And-
called multiple times. They've came in here like 3 times, and they've plugged up the hose and stuff, but it doesn't help.
No, that's what they did with mine, that Brillo stuff. And after that, I caught 2 more, and they were still alive when I had to take them out. I'm not a big fan of rats.
I totally I cry. I'm one of those that if I see one, I will have a whole panic attack and have a whole meltdown. But I'm getting better.
For 2 years.
Let me tell you, one of them sounded like a pig squalling.
Oh my goodness.
that's how
Okay,
bad.
y'all making my
Caught
skin
by
crawl. I'm
snake.
going to cry. Okay. Anything else? Any other problems? The mode, I see that the mode is bad. Okay. Okay, so we have all these problems, and where every community is just not Western Heights. This goes on everywhere. But now is the time to dream. Like, what do you wish to see? What is your dream for your home and your neighborhood? And really think big on this and think about the impossible. What is your dream for it? What's the dream community look like?
A safer, cleaner, more active community.
I love that. A safer, cleaner, and active community. I absolutely love that. Anybody else?
Maybe a better playground for like infants and like toddlers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more like cleaner and safer, like where they actually can play and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like their ideas about the picnic tables too. Like when it's
Yeah.
nice out like it is right now, it's nice to get out and get like some fresh air.
Right.
When is where's the garden going to be at?
Go to Western.
I'm not sure. I don't know if Marissa's still on here or someone can answer that. I'm not sure.
I've
I
been
love
told
it.
they're going to till the area that previously had it. So I will find out exactly what that is. And then I also have something I can send about container gardening if you want to have a small garden outside of your own residence.
I'm interested in both of those because I love gardening.
So gardening is part of your dream.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody's dream is still connected to how to bring the community together.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting, right? I see LaShonda also put in the chat community pool. So that's another way to bring people together. So what are other dreams? I have safer, cleaner, active, the playground, another place to bring people together, picnic tables, a place to bring people together.
Like a barbecue area where people can have like a community cookout or something like that. That'd be a good way.
Because we love I love grilling and stuff, so that would be nice. Get to actually meet nice people, not all the like kind of be stuck inside, staying away from crazy people.
Right.
Anything else? I mean, I know there's more.
Better housing?
Better housing. So when you say better housing, how does that look to you? Is that better like paint or doors or windows?
Like remodeling these houses, like I would think that Western Heights just like need to tear them down and rebuild.
Remodel.
Yeah.
Remodel.
So does that mean like also upgrades as far as new refrigerators?
Yeah, upgrade everything.
Everything, the walls,
no
everything.
mode.
The whole 9 yards.
Whole 9 yards.
I got all kinds of holes, cracks, and everything, and that's how them rodents are getting in. So I totally agree with her, 100%.
Like these walls are falling apart.
Yeah.
So that's the dream. So that's the dream, is to come into your home, be able to breathe, right? And relax. So it seems like the dream is to create a culture of just I guess what you said, Christopher, of just being safe and clean, have a safe, clean, and active community, or just, very caring place, because your home is your sanctuary. That's what I believe.
Right. Yep.
So it seemed like everyone just wants to create that sanctuary for themselves and for their community. Is there any more like detailed words that we can use for the dream of how that actually looks?
Like some more greenery, like some more like like by the mailbox area, like some more like that hill, some more trees and stuff, some flowers, like make it look prettier, like just more greenery and colors.
Colors. I was about to ask
Make
about
it
colors.
look like 5 Point.
5 points. So you like how 5 points look? Yeah.
Yes.
I like their colors. I always was interested how they chose those colors, but it does. You drive down the street, you kind of like, oh, those are nice over there. But yeah.
They are.
Yeah. Cool.
And the inside look nice.
I'd like
I never been. A dishwasher, is that what you said, Tabitha?
Yes.
Okay.
The insides look like downtown, like they're nice.
Yeah.
My mom lives in 5 Point and they're really pretty inside and outside.
Awesome. Is there anything else before we close out? I really appreciate you all. I definitely always enjoy talking to you all and learning more. Any other? I don't see anything in the chat either.
For those that smoke, a smoking area.
We're not allowed to smoke in Western Heights.
Everybody here either smokes cigarettes or they're smoking something. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right, or a smoking cigarette place in
Just a place like kind of outside, like maybe on the corner somewhere where it won't bother others.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, well, it seems like the dreams, I mean, it seemed like it can be done, so we'll see what happens, and I hope y'all continue to participate. I'll be walking with you. We all will be walking with you throughout this whole process, and hoping and praying that, our dreams become a reality, because, everyone deserves safe and clean housing, right? And having a neighborhood where they can meet others and have fun and all kinds of stuff. Okay.
So I'm going to ask Marissa, did you want to say something about gardening, Marissa?
I've put a little bit, and sorry for all caps. I was copying it from a flyer in the chat.
Marissa,
But we'll get this.
Actually, that's just going to me. So it may need.
Sorry, everyone. So I will put that in the chat. And then if you need some additional information, we'll figure out a way to post that so you all can have access to that.
I'm interested in that, definitely.
So that first one is the land gardening. I'm finding out where the spot is now. And then this next one is the container gardening. It's the same contact, and they provide everything to you at no charge.
Oh,
great opportunity there. Yeah.
Yes.
Gardening is not easy though.
Oh no, I've done it before. Like I grew up on a farm, so yeah, I love
My
it.
neighbor does that. She's got all kinds of pretty flowers, and she does some vegetables in her very back part by her porch and stuff.
My apartment on Alliance, I had a nice garden. I haven't put one on where I'm at now, but I'm going to this year.
Awesome.
I love it.
And as you all have been talking about 5 Points, because I know several of you have brought that up. I mean, 5 Points residents, Walter P. Taylor went through the same process. So they went through these listening sessions. They went through gathering feedback from residents, and then the different groups, like we have a people or working in neighborhood groups, those all came back. And then the residents were able to look and weigh into those ideas. So you're doing that same process now. So just know that it's your dreams and your vision that's really going to help create what this looks like.
Yeah, thank you for that, Marissa. That's so true.
And one more thing, a different shade of paint besides that god-awful greenish cute color. Oh my God.
Come on now, green is good.
You talking about that
green
color?
Is good, but not that shade of green. That shade of green is not good.
What about pink?
Run it.
That is so funny.
Just not that hospital green, that's just so ugly.
Okay.
I would rather have green. I got this weird looking peach colors in my kitchen.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah,
I
I'm not a fan
appreciate
of that
y'all.
color.
Any other? I know that Christopher does not want green. But I don't know anything else. No green.
Different shade of green is okay. Just not that whatever shade that is. I don't even. It's so gross.
That's so funny.
So we want to be respectful of everyone's time because we're coming up on that 2 o'clock. Just know that the needs assessment that's going to come out, and that those on the call that are resident ambassadors and those who will be filling out the survey, that's your time to really share what issues that you'd like to see addressed. And then as we go forward, the meetings are really going to pick up pace in you being able to share and look at options and samples and weigh in on, that later meeting way down the road, you'll get to weigh in on paint colors and those types of things. But, this is the time for you all to be able to share those ideas and really get your neighbors involved to tell us the story of what you want Western Heights to be. So we really appreciate your time today.
What time is the next meeting? 5 or 6?
6.
6, okay.
You coming on?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And
All right.
if the resident ambassadors can help remind your neighbors if they're having technical challenges, whatever you think is the easiest, whether it's typing in that bit.ly with the capital W and the capital T and the capital W and Transform Western, or actually just going to the website. We're going to keep working on making it as possible and straightforward as we can for people to join the meetings, but we know the first and second time around it can be tricky. So help us spread the word.
Will do.
Thank you all so much. See you all again at 6 o'clock.